he had like 20 touchdowns. I'm thinking Kevin Falk, Benjamin Watson, Deion Branch guys. I'm going to go with Deion Branch.
Well, you left out, I think, the most obvious one, which is Julian Edelman.
I thought that was too obvious.
Second on the list with 41. And believe it or not, Randy Moss is next with 40. Then Wes Welker. Candidly, as I look down the list, no one you named is even close. So I would say that was one of the lesser performances by anyone in the entire history of Sneaky Hembo. As we continue, we're talking about Brady and Gronk for a reason, because Rob Gronkowski spoke yesterday, and none of us know what he meant. So right now, the two of them seem to have their old magic together. The last two games, Gronk has as many receiving yards as he had the previous 5 combined. Yesterday, our Jenna Lane asked Gronk about back shoulder fades. Here's what he said.
It's like a saying, my mom's be maple syrup, because butter don't drizzle like that. You know, you don't got much time to react, and syrup drizzles. You got to make that play. And a stick of butter, it's a block. You got to put it in the microwave to melt it. That just takes too long. You got to make that play right away, baby. And that's why, I'm like the maple syrup. That's why she used to always say that, because I'm quick with it. I just drizzle all over the place.
Can I repeat? The question was about back shoulder fades. Shefty,
drizzle, baby, drizzle.
Shefty, you're our reporter. Can you shed some light on what the hell Rob Gronkowski was talking about?
Well, I've said all along that it would take about 7 weeks into the season before Rob Gronkowski could drizzle all over the place. I mean, that was always really the situation. It was always going to take 7 weeks for Rob Gronkowski to drizzle all over the place. And he's finally done it, and now he's connected. And I think people have to recognize, again, out of football last year, no training camp, no real training camp this year, no preseason this year. It was going to take him a little bit of time to get acclimated back again. And it looks like he is back to drizzling all over the place 7 weeks into the season now.
Yes. So Dominique, the drizzling all over the place of Rob Gronkowski, I actually want to try and make this into a serious analysis and say that there is something about the fun that they are having that I think is meaningful. Like, I think that Rob Gronkowski is being Rob Gronkowski again, and the two of them are having fun, and I actually think that matters. And so if he's going to make analogies to butter and maple syrup, I think it's actually kind of working.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Brady Belichick, the Brady Gronkowski combination is a good little leadership combo to have, because you got Brady yelling at people for having too many penalties and jumping off sides, and then the following weeks they have much fewer penalties, and then you got Rob coming out here with these silly quotes to make everybody laugh and loosen up. I think there's something to all that. I don't understand what he's talking about. I'm sure it's something that we probably shouldn't be repeating on TV, because that's always Gronk's move, is to slip in this nonsense, and then we're out here talking about 69 and laughing at him. But Gronk is a pro when it comes to being silly and goofy, and maybe he's a bit of a poet too, because all those, it didn't make sense to me, but I guess it made sense to him.
Lewis, I mean, all kidding aside, we were talking at the beginning of the season about how Rob Gronkowski didn't look any faster. He didn't look any better. He wasn't even a part of the offense, and now all of a sudden he is becoming Gronk again. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing a guy who's now hitting his stride physically. I mean, he looks better vertically down the field, like someone now who's getting to the second and third level quickly. And it's a problem now. Look, he has 10 catches over the past 2 weeks. The average distance of those catches of those throws that Brady is making to him are 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. So he's running those, what in football terms we call those wide deep crosses, where you see teams for some reason allowing Gronk to get free releases off the line of scrimmage, and he is splitting the safeties when it's cover 2, and when it's cover 3, you see him running up the seams, and you see Tom just dropping back, looking the safety off, and looking right to him, and drilling him with these passes. And then in the red area, he's becoming a problem again. I don't know what the Raiders were thinking when they split him out. He goes up against the defensive back who he has maybe 6 or 7 inches over in terms of height, and Tom's just looking at him like, you got to be kidding me. You're going to cover Rob Gronkowski like this? If you continue to do that, he's going to continue to rip teams, because now he's got his legs underneath him. Now this offense is humming along, and they're running the football well, and they're playing good defense. Tampa's hitting its stride right now. I cannot wait to see them on Monday night.
We went to the trouble of actually finding that We are taking our wood-based puns to an even greater level. And here he is, Damian Woody. Who have you soured on this week?
Oh, Greeny, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous about this whole thing, but I gotta talk about my former team, the New England Patriots. Look here, Greeny, the first 3 weeks of the season, I'm like, Bill is cooking up his magic again, okay? He goes out there, he has a team ready. They go out and beat the Dolphins. They lose on the last play of the game up in Seattle against the Seahawks, and Cam Newton is looking like vintage Cam Newton. Then the following week, they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. But Greeny, the last 3 weeks, Greeny, this Patriots team, oh my God, and Lewis, you can speak on it. This has been unpatriot-like. You're talking about a team in the New England Patriots that have scored more than 12 points in 3 consecutive losses. Greeny, do you know in 20 years with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they had never had anything like that in back-to-back weeks, let alone 3 consecutive weeks. Greeny, did you know this? Did you know this? The Patriots are 31st in explosive plays, only ahead of our New York Jets. Think how disgusting that is to be associated, to be near how bad the New York Jets are as far as offense is concerned. And Greeny, they only have 3 touchdowns as far as all of their starting quarterbacks concerned. What we are seeing in New England is just pure disgusting. I am so upset that I even have to talk about the Patriots this morning in this fashion because I never thought I would be doing that. You know how much I revere Bill Belichick. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest. But right now, Greeny, the Patriots flat out stink. Okay? They flat out stink. I hate that I'm doing this, but Lord have mercy, just watching the Patriots make me want to gag on offense. Woo!
D. Wood has soured on his former team, the Patriots. All right, I think I want to ask the question to you this way. First of all, no one loves the wood-based puns more than Dominique Foxworth, so I just enjoy watching your face as that happens. But, Lewis, I want to come to you because you, too, have that relationship with Bill. You played for Bill Belichick as well back when he was the coach of Cleveland. Is it time to give up on this team? And you watch them play, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of hope. If they lose to Buffalo, they're, for all intents and purposes, 3.5 games out of the division. Is this just going to be a season in which the Patriots aren't relevant for the entire second half of the year?
Well, first, I think you have to allow the Patriots to get back on the practice field and work through some of these issues because giving up in Bill Belichick, they are oil and water. You can't do that. This guy has been around for too long, has too much in his mental Rolodex, has too much experience to draw off of to say, well, it's just one of those seasons where you're just going to have to look forward to 2021. They need to get back on the practice field. Bill's going to get together with his coaches, and he is going to grind through this and get players to start doing some of the things at game speed that he sees them doing on the practice field, and he won't rest until that is the case. I don't think it's any secret that they know that there's work to be done on this football team in the offseason. No doubt about that. Because there's certain things, I don't care how much practice you do, that you can't create. You can't create speed and playmakers down the field simply because you're running more plays at practice. You can't do that kind of thing. But as far as the execution is concerned and the mental errors are concerned, I promise you, there's some people in Foxborough right now who are catching it, if you know what I mean. And I just don't want to say what they're catching, but they're catching it from Bill Belichick, and it's not pretty. Promise you that.
I hear it. I love the reaction of D. Wood. He's so entertained by you that he's practically not even in the shot anymore, and that's a lot of man to be out of the shot. D. Wood, what? Why are we laughing?
Because, man, the restraint in Lewis right now, not wanting to go in on the Patriots. Hey, Lewis, I feel you, brother. I know, man. It took a lot of me to restrain too, but. Man, it's ugly out there, Lewis. It's ugly out there.
Yeah,
I will say this:
they have their issues. They're gonna have. They got some work to do. There's no doubt about that. But Damian, I mean, as we both know, it's Bill. He'll do something. He's not gonna sit by and let this continue. He
we'll
just
see what
won't.
happens.
You know that.
They've got the big game with Buffalo tomorrow. With Sunday. We'll make the picks here tomorrow. Meanwhile, Dominique, we called you out a little earlier with Himbo. Here comes trivia. Which player has caught the second most touchdown passes from Tom Brady. We acknowledge that